Every morning is a fresh invitation to rewrite your life. As you wake, you awaken not only your body, but your potential, your purpose, and the incredible power of your mind. Today, choose to begin with intention. Choose to begin with belief. Choose to begin with the certainty that you are capable of creating the life you desire. Say to yourself, today, I decide who I become. Because you are not shaped by circumstance. You are shaped by thought. You are shaped by the ideas you allow to live in your mind. And every morning, you have the chance to choose empowering thoughts. Take a breath and affirm. My mind is my greatest asset. My thoughts create my future. This is the foundation of Napoleon Hill's teachings. Every achievement begins with a thought, a vision, a desire that burns gently but persistently in your heart. Let that desire rise in you now. Say, I am confident, I am purposeful, I am disciplined, I am ready. You don't need to know every step. You simply need to take the first one. Life opens itself to those who dare to move forward with clarity, trust, and relentless focus. Every morning, remind yourself, I attract opportunities. I welcome success. I expect progress. Because confidence is a magnetic force. When you believe in yourself, your actions align, doors open, and paths appear that once seemed hidden. Tell yourself, what I think about, I bring about. Your mind is the architect of your reality. Fuel it with strength, gratitude, vision, and determination. The world responds to a mind that knows what it wants. Say, I am creating the life I dream of, one thought, one action, one morning at a time. And as you speak these words, let them settle not only into your mind, but into your heart. Let them become your identity, your daily compass, your silent promise to yourself. This morning is the beginning of a new chapter. Decide who you are. Decide what you want. Decide what you will no longer accept. Your thoughts are powerful. Your belief is powerful. And each morning, you hold that power in your hands. The idea that your mind shapes your reality is one of the most powerful principles in Napoleon Hill's teachings. He believed that every outcome in life, every achievement, every failure, every moment of growth begins first as a thought. Before anything exists in the physical world, it must take shape in the mind. This concept is simple, yet profoundly transformative. It suggests that if you can learn to control the thoughts you dwell on each day, you can gradually direct the course of your entire life. When you wake each morning, your mind is like a blank canvas. You have the opportunity to choose which colors, which ideas, which beliefs you will place upon it. Many people begin their day reacting to worries, limitations, or memories of yesterday. But if you begin instead by consciously shaping your thoughts, you set the tone for your entire day. Your morning becomes the moment where you take control of your inner world. And when you take control of your inner world, everything in your outer world begins to shift. Your mind is constantly creating connections between who you believe you are and what you believe you can accomplish. If your dominant thoughts revolve around doubt, fear, or inadequacy, your actions will reflect those beliefs. You will approach opportunities cautiously, hesitate when you should move, and second, guess decisions that require confidence. But when your mind is filled with thoughts of purpose, strength, clarity, and certainty, your actions take on an entirely different energy. You approach challenges with resilience, responsibilities with focus, and opportunities with readiness. The world responds to the energy you broadcast through your thoughts. Napoleon Hill emphasized that thoughts are not passive. They are active forces that influence your emotions, shape your expectations, and guide your behavior. When you repeatedly think about something, whether it is success or failure, you deepen a mental pathway. Over time, these pathways become habits of belief, habits of focus, habits of action. This is why the first thoughts you choose each morning are so important. They begin the process of building the mental habits that determine who you become. Consider the way your thoughts influence the smallest decisions. A thought of confidence encourages action. A thought of doubt encourages delay. A thought of gratitude invites openness. A thought of negativity invites resistance. Throughout the day, you are constantly creating a chain reaction. Thoughts become emotions. Emotions become choices. Choices become habits. Habits become your character. And your character shapes your destiny. It all begins in the mind. Your mind is also the source of imagination, the ability to visualize a future you have not yet experienced. When you imagine your goals clearly, your subconscious begins searching for ways to make them real. This is why visualizing success is not merely wishful thinking. It is mental preparation. It is the alignment of thought, belief, and intention. The clearer the picture you hold in your mind, the more naturally you move toward it. By beginning each morning with powerful thoughts, you choose not to be shaped by the randomness of circumstance, but by the direction of your own intention. Each day becomes a deliberate step toward the life you desire, built first in your mind before it ever becomes your reality. The way you begin your morning shapes everything that follows. Before the world demands your attention, before responsibilities pull at your focus, and before challenges arise, you have a small but powerful window of time where you can choose the emotional and mental direction of your day. This period is sacred, because whatever you feed your mind during these early moments becomes the foundation upon which your actions, reactions, and decisions will rest. Napoleon Hill believed that the morning is the mind's most receptive state. It is a moment when the subconscious is still open, still quiet, still deeply influenced by the thoughts you choose to embrace. If you begin the day with doubt, frustration, or anxiety, those feelings grow stronger as the hours pass. But if you begin the day with clarity, gratitude, confidence, and intention, your mind carries those qualities forward, influencing the way you interpret events and respond to life. Setting morning intentions is not about creating rigid plans or forcing yourself to feel a certain way. Instead, it is about gently guiding your mind toward the direction you want your life to move. When you wake and consciously choose your thoughts, you signal to your subconscious that you are in control of your inner world. You become the author of your experience rather than a passive participant reacting to everything around you. Your intentions act like a compass. They don't eliminate obstacles, but they ensure you navigate them with purpose. A person who begins the day intentionally carries a different energy, one of direction rather than confusion, of focus rather than overwhelm. For example, if your morning intention is to remain calm and centered, you will find that you approach challenges with more patience. If your intention is to be productive, you will naturally gravitate toward actions that support progress. If your intention is gratitude, you will notice more of what is good, even in the small moments. The morning also sets the tone for your self-image. The thoughts you choose upon waking shape the way you perceive yourself. Affirmations such as, "I am capable," "I am focused," or "I am becoming better every day," create subtle shifts in your identity, and your identity influences how you behave. A person who sees themselves as capable acts with confidence. A person who sees themselves as improving looks for opportunities to grow. Morning intentions unlock this internal alignment by reinforcing who you choose to become. Even the physical aspects of your morning routine influence your mental state. A slow breath, a moment of reflection, a quiet affirmation, each one signals to your nervous system that the day will unfold with steadiness and purpose. When you set intentions early, you reduce the mental chaos that often arrives later. You aren't reacting aimlessly, you are responding from a place of grounded clarity. Over time, these morning intentions accumulate. They shape your mindset one day at a time, eventually forming a pattern of thinking that supports confidence, resilience, and focus. By choosing your thoughts intentionally at the start of each morning, you set the tone for a day aligned with your values, your goals, and the life you are steadily creating for yourself. Self-belief is the quiet, inner force that determines how far you will go in life. It is not loud, it is not boastful, and it does not require the world's approval. It is something far more powerful, a steady inner conviction that grows from your thoughts, your habits, and your willingness to trust yourself even before you see results. Napoleon Hill taught that belief is the starting point of all achievement, because without it, desire weakens, action slows, and potential remains unused. Everything you dream of accomplishing begins with the willingness to believe that you can. The reason self-belief is so essential is that you will always face moments where the path forward is unclear. There will be challenges, setbacks, and days where progress seems invisible. In these moments, external motivation is not enough. You need an inner anchor, something that steadies you when doubt creeps in or when circumstances do not align with your expectations. That anchor is belief. It is the quiet voice within that says, "I can handle this," even before you know how. It is the certainty that you have what it takes to keep going, even when you don't feel fully prepared. Self-belief is not something you are born with, it is something you build. Each morning, with every affirmation you speak, you strengthen your identity. You shift your internal narrative from uncertainty to possibility. When you say, "I am capable," your subconscious accepts this statement as truth. When you affirm, "I am disciplined," you begin to act in alignment with that identity. Over time, these repeated thoughts form the foundation of who you believe yourself to be, and who you believe yourself to be shapes every decision you make. Belief also influences the opportunities you notice. When you trust yourself, you are more willing to take chances, explore new paths, and step into situations that require courage. You become open to experiences that others may avoid out of fear or insecurity. What once felt intimidating begins to feel manageable because belief changes your perception of difficulty. A person who believes in themselves interprets obstacles differently. They see them not as signs to turn back, but as invitations to grow stronger, wiser, and more capable. Furthermore, self-belief affects the way others perceive you. Confidence is magnetic. When you carry yourself with quiet assurance, people respond with trust, respect, and openness. Opportunities naturally flow toward those who radiate certainty and direction. This is not because they are lucky, but because they have built an internal foundation that allows them to move with purpose. People feel this even without words. Self-belief also makes persistence possible. Every meaningful goal requires time, effort, resilience, and the willingness to face temporary failure. Without belief, setbacks break your spirit. With belief, setbacks become lessons that refine your approach. You stop viewing failure as evidence that you cannot succeed and begin seeing it as part of your journey toward success. In the end, belief is the fuel that powers action, focus, and determination. It strengthens your identity, shapes your decisions, and influences every step you take toward the life you desire. One of the greatest misconceptions about success is the belief that you must know everything before you begin. Many people wait for the perfect moment, the perfect plan, or the perfect level of confidence before taking action. But Napoleon Hill taught something far more empowering. You do not need all the answers to move forward. You simply need the courage to take the first step. That single action, small, imperfect, and uncertain, has the power to change the entire direction of your life. The truth is that clarity does not come before action. Clarity comes from action. When you take a step, no matter how small, you gain information. You gather experience. You learn what works and what doesn't. You begin to see opportunities that were invisible when you were standing still. Life responds to movement. Momentum creates direction, and direction reveals answers that planning alone could never uncover. Many people hold themselves back because they feel unprepared. They worry about failing, making mistakes, or not being good enough. But this hesitation creates a cycle of delay. The path ahead remains unclear not because the answers don't exist, but because answers reveal themselves only when you begin walking the path. You cannot understand the whole journey from the starting line. You must move. You must try. You must trust that the road will unfold as you progress. Even the most successful individuals began without certainty. They did not possess perfect knowledge or flawless plans. What they had was the willingness to start. With limited resources, limited understanding, and limited confidence. That first step allowed them to gather the insight necessary to take the second step and then the third. As progress built, their sense of direction strengthened, and the path gradually became clearer. This is how all great achievements unfold, not through perfection, but through persistence. When you accept that you do not need to know everything right now, you free yourself from the pressure that holds so many people back. You release the fear of judgment, the fear of failure, and the fear of the unknown. You begin to realize that every master was once a beginner, every expert was once unsure, and every accomplished person was once taking their very first step. Your journey is no different. There is also a quiet confidence that grows from action. Each step forward proves something important to your subconscious mind. You are capable of movement, capable of learning, capable of adapting. This internal evidence builds self-trust. You no longer rely solely on hope. You rely on your lived experience that you can begin, even when you're unsure, and still find your way forward. Taking the first step is also a declaration to your goals, your dreams, and your subconscious mind that you are ready to progress. It signals commitment. It signals intention. It signals that you choose growth over comfort. And the moment you begin, the energy around your life shifts in subtle but powerful ways. You attract new ideas, new people, new opportunities, and new awareness simply because you decided to move. The path may not be perfect, but movement creates momentum, and momentum leads you toward the answers you once believed you had to figure out before beginning. Expectation is one of the most subtle yet powerful forces shaping your life. It influences your thoughts, your behaviors, and the opportunities that appear before you. Napoleon Hill often emphasized that what you expect with your mind, you invite into your experience. Expectation is more than hope. It is more than desire. It is a deep, internal belief that something good is on its way. A belief that shapes the way you think, act, and interpret the world around you. When you wake each morning with the expectation that something valuable will happen, your mind naturally begins searching for signs that validate that belief. You notice possibilities you would otherwise overlook. You take actions you would otherwise avoid. You engage with people more confidently, speak with more certainty, and carry yourself with a quiet sense of purpose. This shift in mindset creates a powerful chain reaction. The world begins to reveal opportunities not because they suddenly appeared, but because your mind has opened itself to recognize them. Expectation also shapes your emotional state. When you expect success, you feel more motivated. When you expect progress, you feel more focused. When you expect good things, your nervous system relaxes, making you more receptive, more creative, and more resilient. This emotional alignment increases your capacity to handle challenges with clarity rather than fear. You become less reactive and more strategic, less discouraged and more determined. What you expect becomes a lens. Two people can face the same circumstance yet interpret it completely differently depending on their expectations. A person who expects failure sees obstacles as proof that they cannot succeed. But a person who expects progress sees those same obstacles as part of the natural process of growth. This difference in mindset leads to different actions, and different actions lead to different outcomes. Opportunity does not favor the most talented or the most knowledgeable. It favors those who expect that opportunities are meant for them. Expectation also influences your energy. People can sense whether you believe in yourself or not. When you carry yourself with the internal knowing that something good is unfolding for you, others respond with trust, confidence, and openness. They are more likely to support you, collaborate with you, or offer you chances that align with your goals. Confidence creates connection, and expectation fuels that confidence from within. Furthermore, expectation impacts how you talk to yourself. When you expect good things, your self-talk shifts from doubt to possibility. Instead of saying, "I don't think I can," you begin to say, "I will find a way." Instead of saying, "This probably won't work," you shift to, "This could be the opportunity I've been waiting for." These small shifts in language reshape your inner world, and your inner world determines how you navigate the outer world. Expectation is also deeply connected to visualization. When you imagine a positive outcome, your subconscious treats that image as a blueprint. It begins organizing your thoughts, your focus, and your behavior in a way that moves you closer to that outcome. This is why people who expect success often find themselves in the right place at the right time, not because of luck, but because their mindset draws them toward actions that create opportunities. When you choose to expect good things, you create a mental environment where opportunity can flourish. Your mind becomes receptive, your energy becomes magnetic, and your behavior becomes aligned with the outcomes you desire. By beginning each day with strong expectations, you open the door to possibilities that would otherwise remain hidden. Waiting for someone who believes they are worthy of discovering them, daily affirmations are not merely words repeated for comfort. They are powerful tools that actively shape your identity. Napoleon Hill understood that your self-image determines your results, and affirmations are the mechanism through which you communicate directly with your subconscious mind. Every word you speak about yourself, every statement you repeat with conviction, strengthens the beliefs you carry deep within. Over time, these beliefs dictate how you think, feel, and act, and your actions ultimately shape the life you experience. The process begins with consistency. A single affirmation may not immediately transform your life, but repeated daily, it begins to carve pathways in your mind. These mental pathways influence your perception of reality. When you tell yourself, I am confident, your subconscious gradually accepts this as truth, influencing your behavior and decisions. You begin acting in alignment with confidence, noticing opportunities that reinforce it, and responding to challenges from a place of strength rather than fear. Affirmations are especially effective when spoken in the morning. As the mind awakens, it is more receptive to suggestion, more open to shaping its own expectations for the day. By starting the morning with positive statements about yourself, you set the tone for everything that follows. Your intentions, your actions, and your emotional responses all align with the beliefs reinforced through affirmations. Over time, this creates a feedback loop. You believe, you act, you achieve, and your belief grows even stronger. Daily affirmations also help to replace limiting beliefs. Many people carry subconscious doubts that subtly influence their decisions and hold them back. Thoughts like, I'm not good enough, or I can't achieve this, become ingrained because they are repeated silently over time. By consciously introducing affirmations such as, I am capable, I am deserving of success, or I attract opportunities, you overwrite these limiting messages. The subconscious mind does not differentiate between repetition and truth. It begins to act as though your affirmations are the reality it should support. Affirmations work because they engage your imagination and emotions simultaneously. When spoken with feeling, they create a physiological response, a subtle shift in posture, energy, and focus that reinforces their impact. Over time, this repeated alignment between thought, emotion, and action strengthens your self-image. You start to see yourself as the person you declare to be, and your external world begins to reflect that internal reality. Furthermore, affirmations cultivate resilience. When challenges arise, the self-image you have built through daily repetition helps you respond with composure, confidence, and determination. You are less likely to succumb to doubt or external negativity because the belief system reinforced through affirmations acts as an internal shield. Your identity becomes anchored in capability and possibility rather than fear or hesitation. Daily affirmations also influence how others perceive you. Confidence and clarity are visible traits. When you consistently reinforce your identity internally, you carry a magnetic presence externally. People notice the alignment between who you believe yourself to be and how you behave, creating opportunities for support, collaboration, and growth. Over time, your internal self-image shapes the way the world responds to you. By making affirmations a daily practice, you intentionally guide your mind toward the identity you wish to embody. Your words, repeated with focus and feeling, build the foundation for thought, action, and results. Each day becomes a small but powerful step toward becoming the person you aspire to be. With your self-image quietly steering your life in the direction you desire, you conclude your morning affirmations and reflections. Take a moment to recognize the subtle yet profound impact these practices have on your mind and your life. Each word you have spoken, each thought you have nurtured, and each intention you have set is quietly settling into your subconscious. Like seeds planted in fertile soil, they will grow steadily over time, forming the foundation of your beliefs, actions, and future successes. The beauty of this process is that it happens naturally, without pressure or urgency. Your mind absorbs these truths slowly, allowing them to integrate into your sense of identity, guiding you gently yet consistently toward the person you are becoming. The end of this morning practice is not a conclusion, but a bridge. It connects the calm clarity of intention with the dynamic flow of daily life. As you step into your day, you carry within you a quietly reinforced mindset, one that is aligned with confidence, purpose, and resilience. This alignment influences every interaction, every decision, and every challenge you face. It is a mental and emotional compass helping you navigate your day with direction, strength, and awareness. Even the smallest actions, when guided by these morning truths, contribute to the gradual transformation of your life. Reflection at this stage is also a powerful tool for self-awareness. By observing how your thoughts and affirmations settle within you, you become more attuned to patterns in your mind, noticing which beliefs feel strong and which may require additional reinforcement. This awareness allows you to shape your mental environment actively, creating an inner landscape that supports growth, positivity, and clarity. The more intentional you are about this internal cultivation, the more naturally your external circumstances align with your goals and aspirations. Another aspect of this integration is emotional grounding. As you let the principles of self belief, expectation, persistence, and purpose settle, you cultivate a sense of calm readiness. You are no longer reacting passively to the events of the day. Instead, you approach each moment with the assurance that you have already established the mental framework necessary for thoughtful action. This grounded state fosters patience, focus, and resilience, allowing you to respond to challenges with composure rather than impulsivity. Over time, it also strengthens your ability to maintain positivity and clarity, even during periods of uncertainty or stress. This final moment of the morning practice reinforces the connection between thought and action. The ideas you affirm, the intentions you set, and the beliefs you nurture are not isolated mental exercises. They are the foundation for tangible progress. Your subconscious mind begins orchestrating subtle shifts in behavior, perception, and decision making, nudging you toward opportunities, solutions, and actions that align with your highest potential. In this way, your internal practice seamlessly extends into your external life, creating a powerful loop of growth, alignment, and fulfillment. By consciously dedicating this time each morning, you establish a rhythm of self-guided transformation. Your mind becomes the architect of your day, shaping not only your experiences but also the quality of your actions and interactions. Every breath, every affirmation, and every reflection strengthens your inner foundation, preparing you for the moments ahead and reinforcing the belief that you are capable of achieving your goals. This integration process ensures that the power of your morning practice continues to influence your life long after the words are spoken, quietly steering you toward a life of purpose, clarity, and success.